love to take you out like I said I would, honey, but there's too much month at the end of the money.
And a very good morning to you. It's Willie here. It is, what day is it? It's Thursday morning now, 1st of March. Happy St David's Day to all you Welsh people out there. I'm sure I've got Welsh ancestors with a name like Evans. So yeah, happy Daffodil Day, and the snow's not too bad. We've got, I don't know how many inches, but a lot. We're totally snowed in. Can't get out my street. Anyway, I thought we'd do a wee review of the market yesterday, okay, because it was quite challenging, there's no doubt about that. It didn't always behave very well. So I thought I would do a wee review of the 28th of February. That was yesterday. It was Wednesday. I'm not going to do one of these videos every night, okay, because they take ages. And it's not that you're not worth it, okay? It's just that I do need to get to sleep at some point. It's now 10 to 6 a.m., 10 to 6 in the Thursday morning, and I've been up pretty much most of the night putting this together. So, I won't do this every night, but I thought yesterday was worth looking at. Okay, we'll start off with a couple of quotes. There you go. Everyone's familiar with Murphy's Law, aren't you? Or Sod's Law, whatever you want to call it. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Well, did you know that Murphy's Law also applies to auto? Yet when you apply it to auto, it's whenever you increase your stake, auto will have a bad day. Or whenever you reduce your stake, auto will have a good day. And we've all experienced that, haven't we? Absolutely. And, it also applies to SOS. It applies to Scalpy on steroids. It's whenever you present a video which shows the awesomeness of SOS's potential, people will think you've shared the holy grail. Jump on board, and SOS will misbehave to test their commitment to the cause. And that's the story of yesterday. Okay, night-night. No, I'll go on. Let's have a quick look at the Dax. I don't want this video to last for ages, but it's important that we kind of have a wee look at what happened, because a few of us were sharing in it yesterday, okay? There you go. We wake up in the morning, we're in a green zone, we're looking for buying opportunities. Do we have a buy? Well, the trend classifier is neutral, so we don't have a buy. No entry, okay? There's no entry at 7 a.m. At that 7:30, at the end of that candle, we get a red arrow. So we're looking for a selling opportunity. There you go, we're in the red zone, and what do we get? Well, the trend classifier and the vitality indicator are indicating red. Okay, so the vitality, that's pretty good. So we've got an entry there, and we can go with that one, and there's our trigger candle there. That's at 7:30 a.m. So we're looking to sell. We'll put our parameters in. By the way, you can put whatever parameters you want. All right, I'm showing plus 50 and minus 40, but I don't want people to think, oh, that's what it must be. That's the rules. What I'm doing here is I'm showing you how the strategy is working with these rules. I know that some people, certainly for the first trade of the day, go for maybe 20 or 30 pips just to get them in the back pocket, and it gives you a wee bit of confidence. But anyway, I'll stick to the 50 and minus 40 for now, because it's important that we have some sort of consistency, and you can then tweak and apply as you wish. All right. So what happens? Well, first of all, the market goes in our favour, but for 8 pips. We're full of hope and expectation. And then it retraces to minus 40, and we're going, oh, damn. Oh, damn, our other 4-letter words of our choice. So there you go. First trade of the day goes belly up, and we're 40 pips worse off than we were half an hour ago. And we'll just put that up there for safekeeping for later, okay? So you know I'm not forgetting about it, but I just want to try and keep the chart kind of clean. So there you go. What happens next? Well, we get a green arrow, signifying we're now in the green zone again. We're looking for buying opportunities. So we'll wait until that trend classifier catches up, vitality line catches up, and it happens there. So there's your trigger candle. Put in our parameters. We're looking for plus 50, and we've got our minus 40 in for protection. What happens? Market goes up 32 pips. Oh, yeah, beauty. It's turned in our favour. 32 pips, which of course means would be putting in a stop loss up to the entry level, break even. And market then comes back down. So about, I think it's about 10:30 in the morning or something, where we hit break even. So I hope you remembered to move your stop loss there, or else you might have been taking a wee loss. And there you go. So we'll put that break even over there for safekeeping. There's a red arrow there. So again, in the red zone now, and we're looking, and there we go. Now look at that. The trend classifier is red. And of course, that's in order of priority, that's the main one. Then we look at the vitality indicators. And if what we've got in the V line, it's under the zero. Whereas the VIT bar is over the zero, but look, it's a lighter colour and it is of diminishing strength. So therefore, that's absolutely okay. All right, it doesn't need to be below the zero as long as it's kind of following your what's the word? Your journey, if you like. So that would be a possible sell trade. Where's the trigger candle? It's there. So put in your parameters and you can see what happened there, can't you? You can see exactly what happened. It lost 37 pips there. It would have lost the whole 40, but in fact the zone changed colour. You'd be getting out at 37. I know that some of you bailed out before then. As is your right. You're absolutely within your rights to do that. In fact, probably at that time, let me see what happens there. Well, let's put that 37 over to the tally. We've then got a green arrow, but at this point, people are starting to think, Willie, what's going on here? I get the blame. People think I'm some sort of guru, and therefore I am to blame whenever anyone loses. So what we do, we're down 77 pips, and that's prompting. A bit of consternation in the Facebook group. We've got things like, well, I think that's enough losses for SOS today for me. I won't be buying this one. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'm not laughing at others' misfortune because it was my misfortune as well. Okay, there you go. What happens here? We're looking for a buy, aren't we? There you go. The trend classifier, and we've got the rising V line and the shortening negative V bar. So we can get in with our trigger candle is there. I think. Am I right there? I hope I made a mistake. It is quite late. So there's your entry, your plus 50, your minus 40, your stop loss, and what happens is that the market goes up 27 pips. So don't quite move my stop at that level. It then comes back down and we're at -2 underwater, but still above the EMA. You see the 10 EMA there. Not that that's part of this strategy, but as there is an indicator. And then it goes up 44, so the stop loss will be moved to break even, and of course it then retraces and comes back down. And at the end of that candle where it comes back down, you've got a red arrow. So there you go, looking for a sell there. Now, I think Melvin posted something about the rules wouldn't allow you to enter that sell, and I think what he meant by that was that it was after 4 o'clock. I think he's right. I think that's the 4 o'clock candle, the big red one there. So it would be 4:30 that arrow would appear. That's not a rule as such. What I've said is that that's what I do. I don't like taking trades after 4 o'clock, but then I don't like taking trades before 3 o'clock in the Dow, but they are possible. Okay, so this strategy there, my job, if you like, but my role in doing these videos is explaining the strategy, and I share how I use it. But that doesn't mean that you have to use it like that, all right? So when I say I don't trade the Dow till 3, that doesn't mean you can't trade it from 7 a.m. because as we've seen, it can be very profitable in the morning, right? And likewise, when I say I don't trade the DAX, or I tend not to trade the DAX after 4, it doesn't mean that you can't, okay? Because the market does move after 4. A lot of the times it goes into a channel or a period of consolidation, but you know what the Dow's like, and then the Dow drags the DAX. So it is possible to take trades after 4 o'clock, okay? I want to be clear that that's not a rule as such. It might be my established practice, it might be my habit and custom, but it's not a rule. So anyway, that would be your trigger candle there. What happened? There you go, you're looking for your 50 there and your minus 40. It went 22 pips against us. And I can understand that, if you've already lost 37 and you've lost 40, and then you're losing 22, you might just jump. Because it is manual trading, okay? It's not automated, it's not auto, and therefore it's not set and forget. And I can imagine people getting a wee bit grumpy or a wee bit anxious when you're minus 22 down there. But in fact, the market then came back and went to 75 in your favour. Okay, so you certainly went through the 50 target. So there you go. We'll say 50 for that. Although I did mention yesterday in the group, one way of addressing the dilemma of when do I get back in a trade is it's possible to take 2 trades. All right, instead of trading, let's just say £2 a pip, then do two £1 a pip trades, and then take one out at 50 and let the other one run, because you just don't know how long it's going to run for. All right, so that way it keeps you in the trade with half a position, and you've already banked half of your position. So there you go. That's the day on the DAX. The DAX today, a loss of 27 pips there. Okay, that's a shame. Right, move on to the Dow. That's 10 minutes gone. Try and rattle through this. Okay, won't bother with all the lines and bells and whistles this time. We'll just quickly have a look at what happened in the market. So we wake up in the green zone, and there we've got the green trend classifier and a positive V line, positive VIP bar. So we'd have a trigger candle there. That's what's that? 7 o'clock, 7:30. That's 8 a.m. 8 a.m. As I said, I tend not to trade the Dow in the morning, but I'm showing you it because it's important that, you know, I share what the strategy does rather than what Willie Evans does. For goodness sake, don't do what Willie Evans does. You'll end up as poor as me. Right. So there you go. Trigger candle there, and market moves up 88 pips. So if your target was 100, you haven't managed it. But you know what? It's manual trading. Take what you can get. I think that Andy mentioned he took something like 40 pips there on that 88 pip ride. And well done, Andy. No one's going to say, oh, you didn't follow the rules. You didn't wait till 100. Not at all. Take what you can out of the market. Right? The market's giving it to you, so take it. And what happens there is it did retrace, and there's a change of zone, so you would have got out at plus 48 anyway. Okay. So we'll put that there for the tally later on. And now there's a red arrow. Let's have a look. There you're getting your red corroboration at the bottom. So there's your trigger candle. Excuse me. And the market moves against you 90 pips. So if you had an 80 pip stop in there, you'd have lost 80. If you had a 50 pip stop, then you'd have lost 50. I don't know what you're doing, okay? But I explained yesterday about the plus 100 and the minus 80. So we'll stick to that for these videos, just so that you know, I'm not trying to con you or anything. Say, oh no, I only had a 20 pip stop on that. No. Let's have a look. I wasn't trading it, to be honest with you, because it's before 3 o'clock. So, and that's why I don't trade before 3 o'clock. All right. So we now have a green zone, and there's a green corroboration. Therefore, we're looking for a buy trade there. What happens is the market goes up 57 pips and then retraces 120 pips. So if you had an 80 pip stop on that, you've just lost 80 pips, mate. You could have got out at 50, plus 50, but you didn't. Okay, and we're now into sort of, is that 3 o'clock, something like that, I think, maybe. I can't really see the time at the bottom. So there's a big red arrow and a big red candle, as you can see. Well, it's blue in my map, but you know what I mean. So that would be your corroboration at the bottom, making that your trigger candle. And what happens? Price immediately goes 108 pips in your favour. So that would be a 100 pip trade. And then what happens? There's look at that tiny wee green zone. But of course, when that green arrow printed, we didn't know it was going to be a tiny green zone, did we? We just knew it was a green zone, so we'd look for buying opportunities, and we do have corroboration at the bottom. So there you go. You buy it there. I've put a sideways arrow in simply because if I put an up arrow against the blue candle, you wouldn't really see it, but you're buying at that level. It'd be great to have hindsight, wouldn't it, and know what the charts were going to do. Well, you can see exactly what they did. They moved 173 pips, not in our favour. So there you go. You're getting out at 80 there, applying my plus 100 and minus 80 rule, if you want, principle. Practice. There you go. So minus 80 in that one, and there's a red arrow. So you've got red there on the trend classifier, and I'm aware that I sometimes say things like, oh, you've got red there. Now, I know what I'm looking at, but you don't know what I'm looking at. So there's a red trend classifier, there's a negative V line, and there's a red and growing VIT bar. So that's all good for a sell. But in fact, look at the candle that's just gone. We're certainly on a downtrend. There you go. And that one moves. There's your trigger candle, and that moves 250 pips. So assuming the habit and custom and practice of having a 30 pip trailing stop, you would have got out for a plus 220 on that one. Okay, so your total for the day, 128 pips. Now, that's 15 minutes, and that's pretty much as long as I wanted to go. I mentioned yesterday, and someone asked, gosh, I can't remember who it was. Someone was asking about, because I mentioned a couple of times about you could have got an earlier entry or indeed an earlier exit. You can get an earlier entry into a good trade or an earlier exit from a bad trade by actually going down, drilling down to the 15-minute or the 15-minute or the 5-minute chart. Wait a minute, my throat's, I'm getting quite dry, thirsty. I'm going to have a wee drink and I'll just stop the video for a second. Okay, I think that's it resumed. In fact, I think it's a kind of seamless link, so I don't even tell you I don't need to tell you that I'm stopping it or restarting it. I'm just highlighting it by mentioning it. Yeah, you can drill down. We're using the 30-minute chart here purely because when I've been researching it and practicing it and testing it, the 30-minute time frame is a more profitable one, okay? Now, we also know that the 5-minute time frame was chaotic. Okay, you get so many whipsaw actions, if you like. You know, you get a green zone immediately followed by a red zone and so on. And it was just too frantic. However, there's no getting away from the fact that the 5-minute or the 15-minute are going to give you an earlier entry. If you can see, for example, if we take that one, see that one where it came down 173 pips. Yeah, we were in a buy trade there, and obviously it goes against us almost immediately. So if you're a stickler for the rules, you'll say, no, I can't get out here because I'll wait till it hits my stop. And that's fine. That's fine. However, if you think, wait a minute, what's going on here? Get down to the 15-minute or the 5-minute. Just bring up a different chart. You can have them ready to look at. I've actually got them on my screen. I don't show them in these slides because it would just take up far too much kind of space, unnecessary space. But I've got, if you imagine that Dow chart there, I've actually got the 5-minute and the 15-minute behind it. Okay, so I can minimize that for a few seconds, have a look at what's happening in the 5 and what's happening in the 15. And if, for example, in that trade, the one where it went down 173 pips, if I see that, oh, wait a minute, this is turning, because that candle is 30 minutes long, okay? I'd be a fool to wait 30 minutes while this thing's knocking lumps out of me. So I'll look and see what's happening in the 15-minute or the 5-minute. And if they are both in a red zone there, which, let's face it, is going to be up to 29 minutes before I reach a red zone in my 30-minute chart, then get out. You know, it's manual trading. And I don't want people to think, it's a strategy, you have to stick to every rule. It's a manual trading strategy, okay? It hopefully gives you good entries, it hopefully gives you good exits, and where it isn't giving you a good entry or a good exit, have a look down the time frames. Because if you think the M30 is giving you the bigger picture, the 1 hour or the 4 hour will give you an even bigger picture, but that's hardly scalping. That's more sort of about position sizing or swing trading rather. So have a look down the time frames. Have your charts ready. Just have them in the background. And if you're in a sell trade that's going against you, then have a look and see what the other ones are doing. If they've got a similar zone, then fine. Just leave it until it hits your stop. And that's what your stop's there for. You don't put a stop in if you're not prepared to go to it. Okay, or if you're not prepared to go to 80 pips. Remember, 80 pips doesn't mean £80 because you could go a 50 pence stake or whatever whatever level you're at. So you would reduce your stake accordingly. But if you don't want to go to your stop, have a wee look. Well, don't put a stop for a start. Don't put a stop if you're not willing to go for it. Don't trade if you're not willing to lose. But if you want to just see exactly what's happening in the kind of real time, have a look down to the 5-minute chart. And it doesn't mean trade the SOS strategy in the 5-minute chart because we know that doesn't work. So stick to your 30-minute zones, but you know what? You can get into them earlier if you like. You can get out of them earlier by looking down the time frames. And what I might do in my next video, because this is 20 minutes long now, I'll do another video purely on drilling down and having a look in the other time frames, okay, whilst preserving the integrity of the M30 zones. All right. Remember, you don't have to take every trade. This isn't an always-in strategy. Okay, it's not as, remember one time Richard was talking about V4 being always in, like you'd either be in a buy or a sell. When you come out of the buy, you go into a sell. That's what the simple strategy was like. You were always in a trade. You don't always have to be in a trade here, okay? Right, I think that's enough. That's 20 minutes. And it's now 6:10 in the morning. The market will be opening up in 50 minutes. You guys will be getting up in half an hour, and I'm going to go and see if I can get a wee kip. All right, so you guys take care. Let's hope we have a happy St. David's Day. Lots of lovely snow and lots of sunshine and lots of profits. Okay.
But the man says, look what we got here, sonny. It's too much month at the end of the money. I'd love to take you out like I said I would, honey, but there's too much month at the end of the money. Too much month at the end of the money.